Morning, everybody. Damn train. Of course, I'm trying to do this, and there's a train in the distance. I wanted to give you a little walk around of my M3. I've done this with some of my other cars, and I haven't done it with the M3, and figured, well, probably a good time to do it since one, I'm up early. It is a 2008 M3, so this is the first year of the E90 series body style. Yes, this is an E92. BMW went from the inline 6 S54 to the S65 V8. A little bit heavier, a little bit bigger than the E46, but as for a daily driver, a GT type of car, it's great. Fuel economy kind of sucks. Everybody says that, but that's what it is. So before I bought this, I wasn't specifically looking for this color combo. It's what I found. I'm glad I found it. The only thing I really wanted out of an E92 M3 was the carbon fiber sunroof and a 6-speed manual transmission. I could live with just about everything else that these cars came with. So I mean, navigation is probably one of those things. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, what I really wanted was the 6-speed manual and the carbon fiber sunroof. I mean, sorry, carbon fiber roof, non sunroof. And if it has a carbon fiber roof, it does not have the sunroof. So yeah, I was looking through, and every time looking through cars.com and Auto Trader and forums and all that, and every time one of these came up in that 30,000-ish price range, it went quick. And this 08 came up one day, I think it was a Tuesday or Wednesday, that I saw it pop up online. It was in the next state over. I'm in Northern Virginia, so Maryland's not that far. It was about an hour away. Went over to check it out that night, and everything looked good. I did not do a PPI on this. I know you should do PPIs, but I did not do a PPI on this. Kind of had buyer's goggles on, and everything looked okay enough that I really wasn't worried about it. The big thing was listening to the engine for rod bearing noise, and when you do that, they say to go right around here, and if you've got a really good mic, you should be able to record it, and some professionals can listen to it and give you an idea if your rod bearings are on their way out or not. And mine seemed to check out okay. Audio wise, of course, you never really know until you open up the engine and look, and at that point you might as well replace the rod bearings anyway. But the car drives fine. The only issues when I bought it were that there were a couple stone chips. It had all season tires on there that I replaced. Not that those are issues. So it's got some miles on it. It's got 120,000 miles. This is not a low mileage car. The guy drove this thing every day, just as an M3 should, not tucked up in a garage somewhere. So yeah, it's got some stone chips. It's got, actually that might be bird poo or road grime, but it's got that and that. Some other little things here and there, but overall it's, I'd say, in very fair condition. So going back to the engine, let me see if I can't pop the hood here. On the E92s, it's a double pull, so as I open this, it is once and again. So the oil, there was some oil leaking, and you can see it's dirty around here because the valve cover gaskets are leaking. So both sides kind of nasty. I need to do those at some point. When I bought the car, it actually had a check engine light come on that night, and it was for I forget the code number, but it was for the throttle actuators, and there's two of them on these cars. It's a also very common issue. I'd say the rod bearings and the throttle actuators are the big things that people watch out for with these cars, because with the throttle actuators, they put the car into limp mode, and there's two of these bastards underneath the manifold, one on each side, and they're about $1,000 ish, give or take. You can find them a little bit cheaper here and there, but there's two of them, and BMW says replace both of them at the same time. It's about $2,000 of labor, $2,000 in parts, so you're looking at $4,000 for those actuators. More on those later, but I did have a code for an actuator when pop up the night that I was going to buy the car, and I used that to negotiate a little bit more. So yeah, the engine is a little bit dirty. Like I said, I drive this thing. It's not a show car or anything like that. It's a DD. It's an awesome DD. And so I used the valve cover gasket and the throttle actuators to further negotiate the price. The car was serviced at a shop called S2 Dynamics in Maryland, so he had the service records of that. There were some decent maintenance stuff performed, the most notable of which was a clutch. This is an 08, so the 09 and newer M3s have different clutches, and they don't produce the 08 parts anymore, I guess. So if you're going to do a clutch on an 08, it's more expensive than if you're going to do a clutch on an 09 plus, because you have to convert to the 09 plus parts, if that makes sense. So the previous owner had the new clutch installed. It was like $4,000 or so of parts and labor to get all that done. He had other little things replaced recently, like there was a fuel pump. So it's got, yeah, new clutch, new fuel pump. I had new all-season tires on the car, which I don't like all-season tires. I believe that you have a set of summers and you have a set of winters. So off with the all-seasons and on with the Michelin Pilot Super Sports. I'm running the factory size, 245 front, 265 rear. On the back, looks like there were a couple love taps from maybe some parallel parking or something going on there. Not a big deal to me, because I drive the car and I expect that at some point some of these things will happen, and for me it's better to have those already when I buy it, so I'm not, you know, freaking out over every little ding and dent here and there that I would no doubt find and receive at some point if I was to have a new car, which is what happened when I had I had an 08 STI years ago, and had a little ding right in the worst part, like right in front of the door jamb here. And if you remember the 08 STIs, I know I'm kind of digressing a bit, but the 08 STIs had a little badge on this corner there. It was right in the corner, and it wasn't something that could be easily pulled out, and pissed me off. Anyway, so man, God, I love M3s, and I've had E36s and E46 for a long time, and the E46 M3 was the car that I kept the longest out of all my cars. And when I got rid of it, it had 170,000 miles on it. It was reliable for the most part. You'd have sensors go bad here and there, a lot of nickeling and diming really, but the E46 is such a fantastic car, and I've always loved the V8s, and because I grew up in a family with American V8s, and every time I'd go ride in some muscle cars of my dad's Impala, you would hear that. I mean, you're not going to get that exactly from a European or any other non-American car, but the V8 just sounds so good in the M3, and you get the refinement, the usability, and all of that. Man, such a great car. I can't say it enough. Before I go in the inside, so it didn't come as you see it here. I put on the Michelin Pilot Sports Super Sports, and I put on the front carbon fiber front splitters just the other week, and actually just finally officially put them on by reinforcing the fitment yesterday. So these are actually eBay splitters. They're like 140 bucks, but they look great. I think they really complement the car. Okay, so M3, you always know an M3 by the power bulge. Look at it. And the quad tips, of course. Of all the things that non-M owners do to M cars, you know, they put on the wheels, they might put on badges, they might have a same front bumper, even the mirrors, but the hood is something that very few follow through with. And I don't know if it's maybe because the fenders are different, the hood's a slightly different size and doesn't fit over, but yeah, not too many with the power bulge hood or the carbon fiber roof. So the E92 M3 is a bigger car than the E36 and E46 by far, which means you get, for the expense of a little more weight, you do get a lot more room on the inside. It's a very usable car. On the back, before I go into the front, you get a good sized trunk. And yeah, look at all my hats. You haven't noticed I don't have much hair in my head, so I thought there have hats to choose from. You get a lot of space. So you get a lot of space and a lot of utility, surprisingly, for a car like this. People might not really understand. So besides the basics, you know, it's a car, it's got 4 wheels. What does this have? A couple packages that you see on BMWs a lot. Convenience package, or maybe it's called comfort access, and sport package and winter package. One of the things I really like about this is the convenience, or comfort access, I guess it's called. You see the little ridges there on the door handle? You notice that the door is unlocked right now, but if I put my finger over this like that, and it's because I got my key in my pocket, I'm close, it'll do this. It'll lock the door, of course, and then if I grab it again, now it's unlocked. Sweet. And getting into the car, you know, one of the things that really that I really didn't like about some of the other 2-door cars that I was looking at, like say the new Mustangs, for example, ease of access to the back, because I do have a lot of people riding in the back seat, be it friends, my wife when she sits back there with our daughter, but ease of access to the rear seats is something that's important, and not many manufacturers do it as well as BMW. With the E46, there was a handle here you pulled forward, and not only did the seat do this little jig, but it would also lift up from the base and tilt forward more to make accessing the back seats even easier. And with the E92 M3, it doesn't lift from the base anymore like the older ones did, but you've got this button here to go forward and back, and it's memory too. So as somebody gets in, let me actually get back here. Oh, so easy. I'm in the back seat. Look at that. And I do have plenty of room here. My wife is not squished at all by having the seats in that position. With our daughter, this is how it normally is, and you can see, I mean, she's got, I could be an adult back there, and she's got plenty of room, and even in my driving position. So if I'm gonna pull the seat back, and if I hold the button, it'll stop automatically, because this is where I sit. I mean, look at this. I've got plenty of space behind here, and as far as headroom goes, a couple inches, plenty enough. And you can actually see, here's my head right there. You can see I got about that much space. Yeah. And I'm 6 foot. So other things you get in BMWs that you don't necessarily get in some other cars, you get this little thingy. Ooh, if I'm gonna hang a coat. Things like convenience lights. Look at, oh, where's it at? Nope. Well, you got these, I know it's light out, so I can't really show you, but these lights here, these will project in a beam that's perfectly in your lap. So if you're reading something, you're not lighting up the entire car. If you had a dome light on like this, it's like a projector personal reading lamp, and it's perfect. It's not bright. It's got like this ambery tone. It's very warm. What'd I do? Zoom in, zoom out. I dropped my phone. Okay, I got it. We're back. Other thing. Well, one thing I don't like. I wish this really was a cushion all the way across the back seat to truly be able to seat 4.5. A little storage space there. This isn't super smooth. I don't know. Maybe the rails are a little sticky. Who knows what was dropped in there over time. Little pad for, I don't know, a cell phone or something. Ashtray. And then you've got, of course, your vents. So passengers in the back getting a little cold. Oh, okay, warm them up. A little hot, make it chilly. You want to turn it on or off? Okay, do so here. Vents, angles, you know, nothing fancy, but for a vehicle that realistically you guys could pick up one of these for $25,000 or so for an 08 with over 100,000 miles, and you get nice stuff that you don't necessarily get in newer cars for that price range. And I won't go into reliability because, you know, that's, oh, well, you buy an older BMW, you're gonna have a big wallet. Yeah, you could. I've been lucky, knock on wood, that I haven't had major bills with any of my M cars. But interior wise, I mean, look at the seats, the nice leather. The way the material of the leather is kind of on another level too for most other vehicles you're going to find in this price range. The padding, the style, the seats are so ridiculously comfortable. You know, one thing while I'm here, I noticed, what are these? So when you get in the car, these arms come out and they're supposed to grab the seat belt and move it forward like this so that it's easy to reach as a driver or a passenger. Some work, some don't. Mine don't. I've never had this work for me. However, I let my friends drive my car, and a couple times it's worked for them, but I have not had such luck. This arm comes out and it goes, here's your seatbelt. Doesn't work so well for me. A lot of people remove them, disable them, or just live with it not working. Whatever, it's not a big deal. I mean, given E92 its fault, that. Up front here, so we've got a sliding armrest, a little bit. This is an 08, so you get the old style iDrive, and you know it's an 08 immediately when you see that aluminum iDrive controller and the single button. Your newer iDrive started in 09, which that is one pro of buying an 09 Plus M3 is that you get the newer iDrive, which is much better than the 08s. If I had the option of getting an 09, I really would have loved to have had an 09 because I hate this iDrive system. But the 08 fell into my hands and I couldn't resist, and it's not that big of a deal. I mean, really, I would have preferred to have an M3 without the nav system at all. It would have just been a flat dash across, and this would have been a cup holder here instead of a iDrive button. The nav, I mean, everything works okay. It's not the easiest to use. What am I saying? I don't like it. Knob, look at this. We got 120,000 miles on this. This is an original knob. It's in pretty good condition. The steering wheel's in pretty good condition. There's some chipping on the plastics, and it's common with pretty much every BMW. The worst here is the steering wheel and on the grab handle. There's not a grab handle on the passenger side, but there is on that side. So that one's got some plastic that's peeling that looks, you know, much like this. It's probably the worst bit of the interior of this car. Yeah, we got dual climate control. It works great. You got your cup holders that pop out
of these here, so they're in the dash. And poke. Yeah, there you go. You got 2 of those guys, and inside your center console here, I don't know if they're all like this or not, but there's a drink cooler. So I want to try to keep a drink cool. It does work. It just blows cold air on there from the AC. Let me get back out of this. So getting out, move the seat forward a little bit. You're not going to jump out of here in 5 seconds like you could in older coupe, but it is really easy to jump, get it out. It's just takes a little bit more time. I think I realize I'm going on near 20 minutes now, but like I said, this is a true walk around of the car. We looked at the engine, we looked at the outside. Look at the door cards of the E92. They are big doors, and I think most of the weight of this car probably comes from the doors themselves, with all the glass and sound deadening and padding and leather, and they're probably very heavy. But you got these storage spaces that pull out. Yeah, I got a lot of crap in there right now, but that's nice. You got this additional one here, and here's the peeling on the door that I was telling you about. That's really the worst of it, and it looks like it can be replaced, but yeah, I haven't bothered. We got stereo. This is the base stereo. It's not the hi-fi stereo. You'll know a car has the hi-fi stereo because the door speakers will have a different colored trim ring, and they're a little bit more I would say transparent, but you can see through and see the speakers on the inside through the top cover, and you'll know that's a hi-fi system. This one of course does not, but it still sounds really good if you're playing anything other than radio. It does not have HD radio on this year, unless you add it on afterwards. So front seat now. Let's just start the car up for a minute because it sounds so good. Grab my key, insert here. Let me be quiet. Cold start. It's a little bit louder than normal. So you can see I've got 121,517 miles on it. Fuel economy sucks no matter what. I don't know if this has something to do with the previous owner having the fuel pump replaced, but I never get the needle to go to 1. It always hangs out in between, like right around 3/4 or so in a full tank. I think that has something to do with the fuel level sensor or something like that in the tank with the new fuel pump. Whatever. I still end up filling up like 14 gallons and getting anywhere between 14 and 18 miles per gallon around the city, which kind of blows, but man, it's about miles per gallon with this car, I tell you. Oh, yeah, EDC. So some of these cars had, I guess before I even get to EDC, you'll notice on the steering wheel here is an M button, and if I push this M button, you'll see DM light up on the dash, and this just says you're in that's actually for, well, there's 2 things. The yellow MDM is M dynamic mode, which is one of the traction control settings before full off. The green M button says that you've used the M button on the steering wheel there, and when you push this the M button, you'll go into the iDrive settings for M mode, and you can make changes to your EDC, which is your electronic dampening control. It changes the rebound of your dampers, and it does make a very noticeable difference if your shocks are good. So typically I leave it in the normal mode here, driving around, if I'm on smooth roads and feeling spirited, then we'll do sport. But typically, commuting or with family, I use it off like this. It's the smoothest setting, which is still firm, but is more comfortable absorbing dips and irregularities in the road. So you've got EDC, your dynamic stability control, which I keep it in MDM. Power, I don't like changing the power setting because this is how touchy your throttle is. I like it to be consistent all the time. I don't want to push on the power button and have my throttle change. And then you've got Servotronic, which is for your steering. It tightens it up a little bit. I keep it in sport for M mode. I don't know if we'll see what it's like after the track. Some people like Servotronic, others don't. So there we go. You do get Bluetooth, so you can do your hands-free calling and all that. Works okay. All right, let me turn the car. Actually, you probably want to hear what it sounds like. So I think it's warmed up now. This is idle. Quiet. The M cars are quiet at idle with stock exhaust. Yeah, you step on it and it really opens up. Sounds great inside the car. It sounds good outside of the car, but throw an exhaust on this, like a Dynon or the test pipes to replace the primary cats or high flow cat system. Really sounds fantastic. Okay, let me turn this car off. It's been, I think, 25 minutes now. I will thank you all for watching, bearing with me of this tour of my E92 M3. And again, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about it, anything I've done, or just say, hey, I don't like you, you're a jerk, you can leave a comment. Thanks for watching. See you guys.